you state your name?
My name is Bruce Summers from Columbia, Missouri. I am not a lobbyist. I am a citizen.
Don't forget to fill out the witness form.
Right there. I already got that one.
Would you restate your first name for the record, please?
Yeah, my name is Bruce Summers.
Proceed.
So, a modern reading of the 10th Amendment that I did last night using the dictionary goes as follows. The ability or official capacity to exercise control not authorized to the United States by the Constitution, nor forbidden by the Constitution to the states, are kept aside for the states in the order given or to the people. In modern times, the 10th Amendment argument fails when it collides with the precedents broadly interpreting the Commerce Clause, the Necessary and Proper Clause, and the General Welfare Clause. So what are these clauses that seem to defeat the 10th Amendment? Well, number one, the Commerce Clause, to regulate commerce among the several states. Number two, the Necessary and Proper Clause, to make all laws necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers. And the third clause that's used in the argument is the General Welfare Clause. Congress shall have the power to provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. So what are these foregoing powers that are listed in that second clause? Well, they're the 16 items that are listed in Article 1, Section 8. I'm not going to go through and read those, but I have attached them to the end of this document. So, the logic to unseat the 10th Amendment is based on the argument that any area involving the sales of goods across state lines, any justification to pass a law to support the enumerated list, and anything for the welfare of the nation is authorized to the federal government. The bottom line is, it's almost unlimited powers to the federal government. So I ask you the question, why would the framers spend so much energy and time writing a document listing what powers the federal government can do if at the end of the day the federal powers were unlimited? Well, the answer is because their power is limited throughout the Constitution and then again by the 9th and the 10th Amendments, which basically say, if we forgot to limit a power somewhere in the Constitution, then you can't do that either, and you can't, and you can't, and you can't again. Now, here's a short analogy. Imagine that you own an apartment complex and you live on site in one of these units. You've made it your home. You have a few rules in your complex and you have a few duties. One of your duties is to have paths and roads connecting the buildings. And one of your rules is to guarantee the privacy of your tenants by promising not to search their bags or their apartments unless you've been given a search warrant by a judge. Then one day you need to go on an extended vacation. And you hire a management team and you give them specific instructions with a detailed list. This is going to be similar to the enumerated list in Article 1, Section 8. You give them a detailed list of what they can do and what they cannot do, but one of your last statements you make to them is that to take general care of the complex and do what needs to generally be done. And when you come back from vacation, you're shocked to discover that your light bulbs have been changed to fluorescent light bulbs. Your clothes made of hemp are gone. You have an identification card that allows passage to armed checkpoints in your complex. Your vitamins have been thrown away. Your gun is gone. Your statue of Buddha out front is now locked up in a shed. All of your children must take an unpopular standardized test. All tenants must pay for a retirement fund. Your phone has been tapped. The young men in your complex have been sent to invade a neighboring complex. Your new pond has been filled in because of a code violation on the environment. Your bedroom space has been resold to a Starbucks for the general public good. Roads to several of the buildings are in severe disrepair because those tenants rejected some of these new rules. And on top of it all, your toilet's been changed out and replaced with a smaller version that barely flushes. And in your dismay you ask, what happened? I gave you a detailed list of what to manage, and you changed my entire home and my entire apartment complex. And the response was that they thought general care of the complex meant that they could do whatever they wanted. Now, listen to a sentence out of the Federalist Debates from Brutus I. This is in October 1787. Besides, it is a truth confirmed that by unerring experience of ages, that every man and every body of men invested with power are ever disposed to increase it, and to acquire a superiority over everything that stands in their way. This disposition, which is implanted in human nature, will operate in the federal legislature to lessen and ultimately to subvert the state authority. strongly support Rep. Jim Guest and HCR 13. There's been enough encroachment on our state powers, and it's time to reassert the 10th Amendment.